as I was saying, anything what this country does, what ISRO does, there is always something which we want to learn, which we want to take it forward, and which we want to use it for the upcoming missions. Everything, for every activity and every experiment, we always have a goal in mind. That's how this activity of sending one of our astronauts to ISS is planned. The question what you raised is, how does this help in terms of having the astronaut for the long term stay in the space? The three things what are required to stay in the space for longer time is, one is the maintenance of the health of the astronaut. The biggest challenge in the space is the loss of the mass and the loss of the bone density and the loss of the vision, and the malfunctioning of the eyes and the other joints in the body is something which is really bothering, or something to be addressed from the point of view of staying long term. Therefore, the experiment for study of myogenesis study to explore the repairing of the muscle in space, so that the muscles can be repaired by specifically using some chemical techniques, or some of those activities which will make the muscle stronger and which will make the muscle grow in the space in the microgravity, is something which is important. That is first part. Second part is that the eyes and the retina and the pressure on the eyes, which will make the vision and the activity and the strength of eyes to see the display and the touch and feel of the screens, etc., is something which is also need to be improved from the point of view of long term. As of now, the astronauts have been staying there for a few days, maybe one or two, three examples of us having stayed there for a year or so. But beyond that, there is no history. Therefore, that is also important. That is one part. Second part is having the having to grow the eatables there, the nutrients there, the proteins, and the required supplements for the sustenance of the human beings in space is also extremely important. Therefore, the microalgae experiments and germination of the seeds, and the growing of the plants in the space in the microgravity, and how does that the grown seeds and the plants give the nutrients, the required protein, required the things for sustenance of the astronaut, is also something which is need to be addressed. That's why the second experiment. And the third, as I was saying, tardigrade and display technical studies, where with the degradation of the eyes, how does an astronaut can use those displays? How can he use a tab? How can he use the various other things? Is something which is planned, which are extremely important, as I was saying, from the Gaganyaan experiment, which is scheduled to be planned in 2025 end and 2026, where 3 human beings will be taken to space of 120 kilometers, and they'll be staying there for a week, and they'll be coming back. So it is important that we study all this. And as I was also saying, 2035, 2040, where we have the BSS coming up, that is the Bharat Space Station coming up in the space, about 400 kilometers from Earth orbit. It is important that we study all this and get to know. More than all that, if any astronaut gets into medical sickness in the space, is a human being, and human organs can get into any type of problem anytime, even without having taken care, having all the medical facility, etc. Human body can also get into problems. So if anything happens in space in terms of the sickness of the astronauts, how to revive them, how to make them healthy, and how to manage the health conditions, something similar to what is being done in the Earth under the microgravity is also being thought about. That is the reason, if the diabetes, which is largely a sort of chronic disease in this world, if a insulin dependent diabetic
That's right,
patient
sir.
goes into the space, how can he survive there? What are the effects, and how can it be sort of managed in space? Something which is extremely important, as the sugar level control in the space is also something of a worry of for the scientists
Yes,
and the
sir.
astronauts for the long term stay in the space.